Europe is a continent of beautiful, diverse cities, but if you're on a budget, it can be hard to figure out which ones are the best for saving money. In this video, I share my top 10 budget-friendly cities in Europe, as well as tips for how to save money while traveling. Today's topic is about the best places for people looking to travel on a budget. There are tons of great European destinations out there, but not all of them will be cheap. In fact, some can be very expensive and leave your wallet feeling lighter than it should be. But we're here to help. We've compiled a list of the top 10 cheapest and most affordable tourist destinations in Europe, so you can plan your trip today without worrying about overspending or having trouble with money while abroad. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe for more similar content and also press the bell icon so you will be notified whenever we upload a new video. Let's get started. Number 10. Dresden, Germany. The majority of German cities do not fall under the affordable category, especially in places like Bavaria. Although Berlin is reasonably priced for a capital city, it is still a far way from the pricing in Eastern and Southern Europe. However, there is one large city in Germany that has both affordable rates and a lot to offer. Dresden is the capital of the Saxony region in Eastern Germany. It's known for its classic architecture, world-class museums and art galleries, and scenic setting along the Elbe River. When you're standing at the banks of the river, you can spot a striking resemblance between the Augustus Bridge in Dresden and the Ponte Vecchio in Florence. For that reason, many consider it to be the Florence on the Elbe. The city was all but destroyed during the Allied bombings of World War II, but you wouldn't know it when you're walking around its sprightly streets today. Dresden is rich in culture and nature. Art and architecture are on full display amid the myriad Baroque buildings and palaces. Zwinger, a palace-turned-museum built in the early 1700s, is among the finest examples of German Baroque architecture. Another structure in the heart of Dresden that's equally impressive and sacred is the Frauenkirche. At the riverbank below, you'll discover some of Dresden's beautiful gardens, parks, and forests. If you take a steamboat down the river, you can check out Saxon, Switzerland, a hilly national park peppered with hundreds of climbing peaks. When winter rolls around, Dresden becomes decked out with its festive Christmas markets. They're known to be some of the best in all of Germany, which is quite the accomplishment given the sheer number of them strewn across the country. Even during the peak tourist seasons, you'll find the prices here to be reasonable, hence Dresden deserves a top spot among the cheapest cities in Europe. Estimated budget in Dresden, Germany. Accommodation per night, budget $19 to $3. Accommodation per night, 3-star, $41 to $58. Meal budget per day, $23 to $34, and total estimated daily budget, $51 to $67. Number 9. Bratislava, Slovakia. One of Europe's best-kept secrets is Bratislava. It is only an hour by train from Vienna, possibly Central Europe's hottest and most livable city, yet it's miraculously avoided the throng thus far. As a result, it is currently one of the cheapest holiday destinations in Europe. Bratislava isn't the biggest or most glamorous city, but what it doesn't have in size, it makes up for with medieval charm and Gothic grit. From the Danube River, you can look up and see different slices of Bratislava's wide-ranging and tumultuous past. From colorful buildings that appear to have been cut out from the pages of a fairy tale, to bleak buildings that remind you of Slovakia's communist era, there's a lot to take in during a visit to Bratislava. The Old Town is a great place to begin your journey on foot through Slovakia's capital. Quaint churches, shops, and cafes line its narrow lanes. The main square is surrounded by colorful Baroque buildings and alfresco eateries. When you look up, you'll likely see the Bratislava Castle, perched high above the city, that offers amazing views of the Old Town below. Though it was originally built in the 10th century, the castle was left in ruins and rebuilt during the mid-1900s. Bratislava is an emerging destination in Central Europe that still embodies an authentic, old-world vibe. For now, the prices are very reasonable, making it one of the cheapest cities in Europe. Estimated budget in Bratislava, Slovakia. Accommodation per night, budget, $16 to $24. Accommodation per night, 3-star, $35 to $48. Meal budget per day, $14 to $25, and total estimated daily budget $39 to $52. Number 8. Bologna, Italy. It seemed only natural to include Italy in this list of Europe's cheapest and best destinations. After all, this country possesses the most UNESCO World Heritage Sites, 54 in all, of any country on the planet. Bologna, tucked between Florence and Venice, is one of Italy's lesser-known beauties that deserves to be included. Bologna is the capital of the Emilia-Romagna region in northern Italy. It's known for its historic Renaissance-inspired architecture, lively piazzas, and gritty old-world charm. It also holds the prestigious title for having Europe's oldest university, the University of Bologna, which was founded in 1088. Visitors are drawn to Bologna for many reasons. The whys and wherefores can be summed up into one common theme: authenticity. While most international travelers set out for the saturated streets of Florence, Rome, and Venice, Bologna has retained its quaint and quiet demeanor. Surprisingly, Bologna is also one of the cheapest European cities to fly into. Top sites in Bologna include the Piazza Maggiore and Basilica di San Petronio, which date back to the Italian Renaissance era. The medieval center is among the largest and best preserved in all of Europe. It's sprawling with pastel-colored buildings and life. Bologna is also home to the Asinelli Tower, the tallest leaning tower in Italy. Not only does it dwarf the Leaning Tower of Pisa, it also tilts more. Though having a mild disposition on the surface, Bologna emits a lively music scene. For this reason, UNESCO considers it a creative city of music. Past and present, this city has inspired music on an international scale and has been the stomping ground of famous musicians like Andrea Mingardi, Francesco Guccini, and Cesare Cremonini. Today, Bologna's harmony is on full display at the Teatro Comunale di Bologna and Arena del Sole, two historic performing arts theaters. For all that you get during a trip to Bologna, the price tag is extremely reasonable. You'll probably want to spend a little extra on the food, which is much better than the deli meat offered in grocery stores under the same name. However, the cost can easily be offset by the affordable accommodation prices. This makes Bologna one of the cheapest and best cities in Europe to visit. Estimated budget in Bologna, Italy. Accommodation per night, budget, $25 to $49. Accommodation per night, 3-star, $52 to $69. Meal budget per day, $21 to $30. And total estimated daily budget, $53 to $64. Number 7. Sofia, Bulgaria. Sofia is perhaps one of Europe's most underrated locations. It's slowly making its way onto several Best of Europe lists, but it's managed to go under the radar. The Bulgarian capital has a remarkable history dating back over 2,000 years. The Greeks ruled Sofia initially, followed by the Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman empires. More recently, the city was occupied by the Soviet Union for much of the 20th century. Ancient architecture is on full display around the city, particularly in its houses of worship. Bojana Church is a Bulgarian Orthodox church and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. On the inside, you'll find beautiful frescoes dating back to the 1100s. Another cultural gem is the Banja Bashi Mosque, which was built in the mid-1500s under Ottoman rule. This mosque is a surviving testament of the Ottomans' 5th-century rule over Bulgaria. Sofia also boasts an array of unique sites dating back to the turn of the 20th century. The Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, built in the Neo-Byzantine style, is cladded with a massive gold dome. Though built in that fin de siècle era, it certainly has an ancient Eastern European feel to it. Sofia is a cheap foodie destination. In addition to its hodgepodge of historic sites, Sofia is also a popular destination for its cuisine. The food here is similar to what you'd find in Istanbul and other Eastern European destinations. A traditional Bulgarian meal includes a fine balance of meats, cheeses, vegetables, and yogurt. Like other cities in Eastern Europe, Sofia is also sprawling with bars and clubs. Thankfully, they won't break the bank, as it's one of the cheapest holiday spots in Europe. Estimated budget in Sofia, Bulgaria, accommodation per night, budget, $17 to $26. Accommodation per night, 3-star, $39 to $49. Meal budget per day, $15 to $24, and total estimated daily budget, $42 to $56. Number 6. Sevilla, Spain. There's no shortage of Spanish cities that are worthy of this list among the best and cheapest cities in Europe. However, I chose Sevilla because the city offers an exceptional price for what you get. It's generally much cheaper than Barcelona and Madrid, yet still has all the perks of a large city with a rich culture. As one of the biggest cities in Spain, Sevilla is also one of the cheapest European cities to fly into. Sevilla is home to a treasure trove of historic and cultural landmarks. Protruding from this smorgasbord of culturally significant sites is the Real Alcázar of Sevilla, a royal palace with a mix of Islamic, Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque architecture. The Alcázar was heavily influenced by the Moors who ruled Spain during the Middle Ages. More recently, it was used as a filming location for Season 5 of Game of Thrones. Sevilla is also cherished for its Plaza de España, one of the most beautiful squares in Europe. It was built for the Ibero-American Exposition in 1929, though it truly makes you feel like you're back in the old world. Like most of Andalusia, food and drinks here are a fraction of the cost compared to other Spanish cities. Though you will need to venture off the beaten path a bit to find the best spots to enjoy your tapas. As such, Sevilla is one of the best places for students to travel in Europe. Estimated budget in Sevilla, Spain. Accommodation per night, budget, $23 to $40. Accommodation per night, 3-star, $55 to $73. Meal budget per day, $19 to $28. And total estimated daily budget, $49 to $62. Number 5. Ljubljana, Slovenia. Ljubljana is a charming city that gives you a great bang for your buck. Despite being one of the most beautiful and livable cities in Europe, it somehow managed to stay under the radar. Ljubljana has a reputation for being a green and pedestrian-friendly city. The old town has been car-free since 2008, and the city hasn't looked back since. In 2016, Ljubljana was deemed the European Commission's Green Capital of Europe. Since then, the city has received numerous other awards for its sustainable and responsible tourism. It's also one of the cheapest European cities and the perfect place for budget travelers in 2022. The Slovenian capital is home to a potpourri of cultural attractions. Chief among them are the Ljubljana Castle, Ljubljana Cathedral, and Triple Bridge in the Old Town. In addition to the city's green and cultural initiatives, Ljubljana is a popular destination for its trendy restaurants and cafes. During the summer months, many of them set up shop right along the Ljubljana River, making for a lively alfresco scene. Estimated budget in Ljubljana, Slovenia. Accommodation per night, budget, $15 to $22. Accommodation per night, 3-star, $38 to $55. Meal budget per day, $16 to $25, and total estimated daily budget, $44 to $54. Number 4. Budapest, Hungary. Take a budget airline to Budapest, one of the cheapest and most interesting cities in Europe. It's one of the most romantic cities on this list and is the perfect cheap city break. Budapest is gratefully nestled along the Danube River with access to the region's best thermal baths, a hot attraction since Roman times. This city is known for having the most delicious cuisine in Central and Eastern Europe. Goulash originated here, as did langos and halasle. If you enjoy Austrian food, then you'll be pleased to know that Hungarian dishes are very similar. Both cuisines were shaped during the days of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. If you're a history and architecture lover, you'll be awestruck by the Hungarian Parliament building and Buda Castle. Both of these iconic buildings are absolutely massive. Another must-see sight in town is the Halászbástya. From the top, you'll have a bird's-eye view of the Danube and the rest of the city. When it comes to visiting Budapest, the other elephant in the room is the Széchenyi thermal bath. It's the largest medicinal bath in all of Europe and probably something you frequently see on your social media feed. Other popular baths in town include the Rudis baths and Gellert thermal bath. Though you'll pay a little extra to enjoy Budapest's thermal baths, prices for food and accommodation are very reasonable here. This makes Budapest one of the cheapest European cities to fly into and visit in 2022. It's also one of the best places for students to travel in Europe. Estimated budget in Budapest, Hungary. Accommodation per night, budget, $14 to $26. Accommodation per night, 3-star, $29 to $48. Meal budget per day, $18 to $28. And total estimated daily budget, $46 to $58. Number 3. Athens, Greece. This is a fantastic story about a European city. Athens is an open-air museum with a millennia-long history. Athens, the historic and modern capital of Greece, is home to some of the world's most ancient temples, statues, and monuments. In 2022, it will be one of the cheapest European cities to travel into and visit. Top sites in Athens include the Acropolis, Temple of Zeus, and Agora. The Acropolis, an ancient citadel that sits atop a stone outcrop, contains several historically significant monuments, including the Parthenon, Temple of Athena Nike, and Erechtheion. The city is also home to the Panathenaic Stadium, which was the main venue for the Olympic Games held in 1896 and 2004. Athens can totally be done on the cheap if you're willing to choose a budget accommodation. If you're going to stay in a backpacker's hostel, then you should choose one in a good area. Estimated budget in Athens, Greece. Accommodation per night, budget, $18 to $39. Accommodation per night, 3-star, $35 to $53. Meal budget per day, $17 to $25. Total estimated daily budget, $43 to $58. Number 2. Porto, Portugal. Porto is a popular coastal city in Portugal, which is probably Western Europe's cheapest country. It's frequently likened to the country's capital, Lisbon, although it's less urban and farther off the main path. Porto is without a doubt one of Europe's most interesting and exciting towns to visit in 2022. For budget travelers, it's also one of the most affordable cities in Western Europe. Porto is the gateway to the Douro Valley, one of the world's top wine areas, and is known for its port wine. It also boasts a rich history and sizzling nightlife. This is a top cheap European city for foodies and wine lovers. Many of the top attractions in town are free to enjoy, including the Ponte de Dom Luís I and Cais da Ribeira that straddle the Douro River. The riverside promenade is like a postcard row, strewn with colorful houses, shops, and cafes. Another claim to fame for Porto is the Porto Cathedral, a Romanesque church that broke ground in 1100 AD. From the cathedral's terrace, you'll have incredible views of the old town. In Porto, you could easily get by on $50 a day and still be able to experience it all. For that reason, it deserves a top spot among the cheapest cities in Europe. Estimated budget in Porto, Portugal. Accommodation per night, budget, $18 to $39. Accommodation per night, 3-star, $35 to $53. Meal budget per day, $17 to $25. Total estimated daily budget, $43 to $58. Number 1. Kraków, Poland. Kraków is Poland's second largest city and one of Europe's most affordable cities. It has the same historical allure as Prague, although it doesn't draw the same crowds. There are several inexpensive hostels in this city, making it one of the most affordable European destinations. If you're like me and can't get enough of Europe's old towns, then you'll love visiting Kraków. The city's main market square, Rynek Główny, is the largest medieval square in Europe. Here, horse-drawn carriages glide past colorful buildings and a perfectly imperfect basilica. The city is also home to the Wawel Castle, a 14th-century castle and cathedral built in the Baroque, Gothic, Renaissance, and Romanesque styles. With its unique mix of architectural styles and sheer size, the Wawel Castle definitely has the wow factor. The Polish currency, the zloty, has a very favorable exchange rate to the US dollar and euro. The prices for accommodations, meals, and attractions are a fraction of what you'd pay in other major European cities. Kraków is also very walkable, so you won't need to spend any money on public transportation to get around. Estimated budget in Kraków, Poland. Accommodation per night, budget, $12 to $30. Accommodation per night, 3-star, $28 to $45. Meal budget per day, $10 to $15, and total estimated daily budget, $32 to $45. That brings us to the end of the video. Let us know in the comments section below which place you want to visit in Europe. Also, let us know if we have missed any other budget-friendly cities of Europe, and if you like this video, please support us by subscribing to our channel. See you next time!